next part of our fresh lasagna series. This is going to be how to make, I mean really this is a marinara sauce with a few adaptations. This is a similar sauce I use whenever I make fresh pasta, just with a couple little changes mixed in to really get a nice deeply flavored sauce for lasagna. So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to get our ingredient prep. So I've already chopped 7 cloves of garlic. So you can see those are all already finely chopped in there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to heat. You want to use a shallow pan, but I'm going to use my Dutch oven because I'm going to leave it here for a while. So I'd rather just use the Dutch oven. We're going to heat up a Dutch oven or a shallow or a large pan with about a 1/4 cup of good olive oil. And let me just say, if you don't use good olive oil, you really are missing out. You know, the bargain bottles of oil that you find at the market, they're really not doing you justice. Spend the money, get yourself some good olive oil, and all of your food will be so much better, I promise. So, since I'm using my tablespoon pourer, I'm going to do 4 tablespoons. That's going to add up to a 1/4 cup of oil. So that's in there, that's getting nice and hot. While that's happening, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my can of whole San Marzano tomatoes. This has really become my favorite tomato to use for this. I'm going to put them into a bowl, and I'm going to scrape up all of the juice, or all of the sauce that's in there. I want to use every little bit. Normally what I would do, I would spray some water in there to get all of it out, and then add that water in, that reserves water. This time I'm not going to do that, only because I'm using leftover tomato sauce from other recipes that I've had, and I want to make sure that I use all of it. So from here, inside of a bowl, and I like to use my hands, I'm going to take those and I'm just going to break them up. I'm going to break those tomatoes up into nice, good sized chunks in there. So you'll see, you just squeeze the tomatoes and they'll turn into those chunks. You want to leave them nice and big because we're going to, there was a squirt. That's why I like doing them in the bowl. I tried to pick it up to show you and then ended up squirting the iPad. I hope it didn't get on the camera. We're going to do that in the bowl and just give that a good breaking up, and so it's a large pulp. If it's still too big after you're done cooking it, which it won't be, but if it is, you can always, you know, take an immersion blender or just kind of break it up in the pot. But if you break it up too much, you'll never be able to get it back. So, now that's in there. So I've got my big chunks of tomato in there. So now I'm going to take my garlic, medium-high heat, and drop it right in there. Just for about 30 seconds to a minute. And then from there, once that's starting to brown a little bit, we're going to go ahead and add all of our tomato sauce. So I'm going to add that. This is some leftover sauce from another recipe, because we're not going to waste. This is the leftover tomato sauce from another recipe. That was from when I made margarita pizza last week. I told you I was going to save that, and did. And lastly, the San Marzano pulp that I just had. I'm going to drop that all in there. Every last bit of tomato goodness. We're not going to waste anything in this house, right? Especially right now. Well, really never, but especially not right now. So we're going to put that in there. Give it all a good mix. In there, we're also going to add some oregano. Probably about a good three-fingered pinch. We don't want to add too much. If we put too much now, we can't take it back. We'll be flavoring it later. And a good 4-fingered pinch of salt right in there. And that's really it. And we are going to put 2 basil sprigs, stems and all. Off. 2 whole sprigs of basil, and just drop them right on top. We're not going to stir them in, we're just going to leave them right there on top. And then the heat from the sauce around it is going to cause it to wilt. And then once it wilts, it'll sink in. And that's it. We don't want to break it up because we're actually going to take it out. Get that to a simmer. And it'll look just like this. We're going to get it up to a bare simmer. I'm still heating it up now. So we're going to get it up to a bare simmer. Once we've got it all evenly heated, then we're going to pull it back to super low heat and just let that go. I'm going to let it go for about an hour. I really want it to break down well. I want to get some of that excess water out because I'm using leftovers from a couple other cans of tomato sauce. So I want to make sure I get rid of all the excess water that's going to be in there. I want a nice, thick, rich sauce. But I do still want to make sure there's enough liquid in there to cook the lasagna because I'm going to be using the oven-ready lasagna. So we'll come back in about an hour and we'll see what's up. And 1 hour later, here we are. So all we'll do, we're going to take that basil that we left undisturbed, we're just going to take that out. We're going to taste for salt and for oregano. If it needs any of the other one, any of either one, go ahead and add it now. And that's ready to use.